Yesterday, it's like HTTP methods. How many HTTP methods?
7.
7. See, delete. Fifth one, head. 6, trace. 7, options. 7 HTTP methods. Which is a default get method? Get. It is default. Okay. First of all, here, what's the difference between get and post? See, note down. Get versus post. Get versus post. One side get, one side post. One side get, one more side post. Note down. There are 7 HTTP methods: get, post, put, delete, head, trace, options. Get is a default. If you don't write anything, by default get works. What's the difference between get and post? Note. It includes a request parameter in a request header. It includes the request parameters in a request header in a packet. It includes the request parameters in a request body in a packet. It includes the request parameters in a request header in a packet. It includes the request parameters in a request body in a packet. Listen the class, Uday, listen. It includes the request parameters in a request header in a packet. It includes the request parameter in a request body in a packet. See, yesterday you have seen one login.html program and one registration.html program. So HTML programs you have seen yesterday. Okay. See, yesterday this login I executed run as
server.
run on server. I selected localhost, finish. Homepage.html. See, it is homepage.html. If you click on registration form. If you click on login form. Okay, these 3 HTML programs you have seen. In this HTML program, see, in this program, I given about this. For this one box name I given. This one name I given. For this one, I given one name, something u name. For this one, I given one name, p word. Okay, u name, p word. These two are called request parameter names. Request parameter names. Okay. I'll type some username and I'll type some password. Suppose here I'll type some username, something ABC. I'll type some password. Suppose XYZ. I'll type. These username and password are called request parameter values. request parameter values. You observe whatever you are typing in this box, that is called request parameter value. For identification of this box, one name we written in the program uname pword. These all doesn't appears in a browser window. These two are called request parameter names. These two are called labels, already given. Yesterday given labels. These are labels. You observe username, password we written in a program that is displayed here. But uname pword we written in a program but not displayed. And ABC XYZ we are typing dynamically. It is not there in the program. These three different you observe. Username, password in the program also appears, in output also appears. But uname and pword in a program it is there, but in output doesn't appears. ABC XYZ in output appears, but in a program doesn't appears. Okay. Whatever you written, uname, pword, fname, lname, some username, password, first name, last name, all given. No? Those all request parameter names. Whatever you are going to type dynamically, these are called request parameter values. Name and value pair, totally called request parameter. Those all included in request header. Those all included in request body. While sending data client to server, server to client, one packet created. Here, one packet created. Data transferred client to server, server to client in the form of packets only. Packet created. In that packet, header part will be there, body part will be there. Header part and body part. Here, it is header. It is body. Now, what I given? It includes the request parameters in a request header. That means here included. Request parameters here included. Here also packet. Here request header. This is header. This is body. Now here request parameter included. First difference this is. So while transferring data client to server, server to client, data transferred in the form of packets only. Data transferred in the form of packets. In your academics, you studied in CSC, CSID students. TCP packets, UDP packets, studied. The data traveled packet format only. So packet contains two parts, header part, body part. If you use get method, header part included. If you use post method, body part included. It is the first difference. Write this one. I'll give all differences. First difference this is. It includes the request parameters in a request header in a request pack in a packet. It includes the request parameters in a request body in a packet. So get method if you use It includes the request parameters in a request header in a packet. Post method, if used, it includes the request parameters in a request body in a packet. Is it over? So uname, whatever you typed, uname as well as whatever you typed. Uname is the request parameter name, and the ABC is a request parameter value. That pair is going to be stored here. Here, that pair is going to be stored here. That is the first difference. Request parameters are included in a header part. Request parameters are included in a body part. That is the first difference. Okay. Now you studied yesterday in address bar displayed, no? Address bar. Because whatever is stored in request header, that is header. Header part is going to be displayed in address bar. So that is you have seen yesterday. See, I'll show you. Here in this program, login.html. Here, just I'll remove method equal to post. I'll remove. Then which request, which method will be there? Get method will be there. I'll run now. Right click, run as, run on server. Save. Here I'll type homepage.html. I'll click on login. I'll type username, suppose ABC, some password I'll type. When I click on submit button, you observe it is previous request stored. 1 minute. I'll change the browser. That is in a cache is stored. That's what it is not showing. Right click, run as, run on server. Next, finish. Here, homepage.html. I'll click on login. I'll type username. I'll type password. When I click on submit button, you observe what is showing here. Question mark, uname equal to ABC and pword equal to XYZ. So this is request parameter name. This is request parameter value. It is request parameter name. It is request parameter value. Like password displayed here. So this is a difference between get and post. First difference. So here, header part displayed, body part not displayed. Now, in this method or in this approach, request parameters are displayed in address bar. In this approach, request parameters are displayed in address bar. In this approach, request parameters are not displayed. Not displayed. In this approach, request parameters are displayed in address bar. In this approach, request parameters are not displayed. In this approach, request parameters are displayed in address bar. In this approach, request parameters are not displayed. Say here first what will happen? All request parameters are stored in header part. Here all request parameters are stored in body part. That's the first difference. Header part displayed in address bar, body part not displayed. Okay. Now here suppose many request parameters you may write, those all displayed in address bar. Here continuously if you type, somewhere it is going to end. So that much data only accepted. More than that, it won't accept. That means here size of the data is limited. That is based on browser. Next, write it. Here size of the data is limited. Here size of the data is not limited. Here size of the data is limited. Here size of the data is not limited. So there is no limit. N number of parameters you can pass in request body, but a request header limited size will be there. That supports 8 kilobytes, 16 kilobytes, 32 kilobytes, depends upon browser, depends upon version. That's what exact size I'm not giving. Just data is limited. Here no limit. In this address bar, continuously if you type, somewhere it is going to end. That is some 8 kilobytes, 16 kilobytes, 32 kilobytes, some limitation is there. That's what in this approach, data size is limited, but here no limit. N number of bytes you can add. Okay. Here, suppose in your request, suppose in your application, maybe here one photo also you may ask. Like the type of applications also are there. No, photo also you can upload. Registration form, your photo also you can upload. But if you upload photo, the photo will it display here in address bar? No, it is not suitable for uploadings. Uploading data not suitable. Okay, write it. It is not suitable for uploadings. Uploading files. It is suitable for uploading files. It is suitable for uploading files also. It is not suitable for uploading files. It is suitable for uploading files also. It is not suitable for uploading files. It is suitable for uploading files also. Here here this is what, but here data not displayed in address bar, size of the data limited, then always this is better appears, no? So here request body included, that based with that reason only it is not displayed. With that reason only it is not displayed. Here size is no limit. Uploading files also possible, but in which situation we have to use get? As compared to post, little bit fast. Get is little bit fast. Okay. Uh, it is little bit fast as compared to post. It is little bit fast as compared to post method. It is little bit slow as compared to get method. Reason, here all concatenated as a one string, very quickly stored in a packet. Here one by one stored in a packet. That is little bit. That fraction of seconds only, milliseconds gap only. Milliseconds gap only difference. Use if the data is not confidential. Use this method if the data is not confidential. Use this method if the data is confidential. Use this method if the data is not confidential. Use this method if the data is confidential. If the data is not confidential, go for get. If the data is confidential, go for post. Now, it is HTTP method. Okay. Now, HTTP servlet. This purpose only, HTTP methods purpose only, HTTP servlet prepared. HTTP servlet. But already generic servlet is there. Here, HTTP methods purpose, HTTP servlet came. You observe 7 methods are there. 7 HTTP methods are there. You observe here Java P Jakarta dot servlet dot HTTP dot HTTP servlet. Here methods you observe: do get, do head, do post, do put, see, do delete, do options, do trace. All 7 methods are there. So to handle these methods, HTTP servlet prepared. To handle these methods, HTTP servlet prepared. But already service method is there. It can handle all the methods. But why HTTP servlet? I'll explain. Note down. To handle HTTP methods, HTTP servlet, to handle HTTP methods, Jakarta dot servlet dot HTTP dot HTTP servlet introduced. To handle HTTP methods, Jakarta dot servlet dot HTTP dot HTTP servlet introduced. To handle HTTP methods, Jakarta dot servlet dot HTTP dot HTTP servlet introduced. Now you already studied Jakarta dot servlet interface contains lifecycle that is inherited in generic servlet class. This is inherited in HTTP servlet. First of all, this hierarchy node. Jakarta dot servlet dot servlet, Jakarta dot servlet dot generic servlet, Jakarta dot servlet dot HTTP dot HTTP servlet. This is the interface or class. Interface. Generic servlet is abstract class or concrete class. Abstract class. HTTP servlet. Generic servlet. One abstract method. Service. Here 5 abstract methods, here 1 abstract method, here no abstract methods. Here 5 abstract method, here 1 abstract method, here no abstract methods. Without abstract method, abstract class, we can create. You studied in core Java class. Now no abstract methods. So writing servlet program, 3 ways possible. 3 ways. First way, by implementing servlet interface. Second way, by extending generic servlet. Third way, by extending HTTP servlet. In these 3, any one we can use. All 3 possible. By extending HTTP servlet also possible. Okay. Now, servlet interface, if you implement 5 abstract methods mandatory to override. Generic servlet, if you extend 1 method mandatory to override, that is service. But HTTP servlet, no method mandatory. No method mandatory means if you don't override any method, if you don't write anything, no error, no exception, no output. Output also will not come. Okay. So error will not come, output will not come if you don't override any method. That means here you can select, you have a freedom to select. In this case, if you extend HTTP servlet, full freedom to select whatever you require. That is a benefit. Here compulsory service only outright. Here compulsory 5 methods you outright. But it is not compulsory. Whichever you want, that is you can select. That is a freedom is there. If you select HTTP servlet. Now, how to select? There are many methods. How to select? I'll explain. And what's the difference between generic servlet, HTTP servlet? I'll explain. See, servlet interface, implementing servlet interface also possible. Extending generic servlet also possible. Extending HTTP servlet also possible. 3 different approaches possible. 3 different ways possible. Okay. Now, next node on HTTP servlet methods I'll give. How to select, I'll explain first. So here many methods are there. Whatever required, I'll give. Methods. Do get, do post, service. Enough. Noted? Do get, do post, service. Right is all. So 4 methods, but here service method, life cycle service method. One more non-life cycle service method. It is derived from servlet interface. Servlet interface to generic servlet to HTTP servlet. Are there overloading or overriding? This is now here two service methods are overloading or overriding. Overloading, but the overriding also is there. Generic solid service method overridden here. Generic solid service method overridden. Again, this is overloaded. Is it over? Four methods are there. Do get, do post, service. This service is, it takes solid request, solid response. It takes HTTP solid request, HTTP solid response. I have taken these all, not completed, just I given list only. You already studied how many life cycle methods are there? 3. What are those? Init, service, destroy. These 3 methods, life cycle methods. These 3 methods belongs to which interface? Solid interface. Solid interface inherited in which class? Generic solid. Generic solid inherited in which class? HTTP solid. Here, in these 4, which is life cycle method? Third one or fourth one? This is life cycle method. Because parameter you observe. Solid request, solid response. So, web container knows only this method. It doesn't know other methods. Web container knows only life cycle service method. It doesn't know other methods. Okay. Now, how it will handle, how it will call, that is I have to explain. Now, before going to that one, here also HTTP solid request. That difference also required. That is actually superclass, subclass only. You write this one also. Jakarta dot solid dot HTTP solid request inherited in Jakarta dot solid dot HTTP solid request. It is super interface, sub interface. It is super interface and sub interface. Here also Jakarta dot solid dot servlet response. Jakarta dot servlet dot HTTP dot HTTP servlet response. Ready, son? Jakarta dot servlet request inherited in Jakarta dot servlet dot HTTP servlet request. Jakarta dot servlet response inherited in Jakarta dot servlet dot HTTP servlet response. Is it over? See, using servlet request, can I access HTTP servlet request? Can I access? No. Using HTTP servlet request, can I access servlet request? Yes. Using sub interface methods, super interface methods, you can access. Using subclass object reference, superclass method, you can access like that. That means HTTP servlet, if you use servlet request also you can access, HTTP servlet request also you can access. That's what always subclass objects better. Okay. Now I have to explain what's the difference, how to select. I'll explain. Now there are three ways to write servlet program. First, write it down. There are three ways to write servlet programs. First one, by implementing Jakarta dot servlet interface. Second one, by extending Jakarta dot servlet dot HTTP dot servlet dot generic servlet class. Third one, by extending Jakarta dot servlet dot HTTP servlet class. By implementing Jakarta dot servlet interface, by extending Jakarta dot servlet dot generic servlet class, by extending Jakarta dot servlet dot HTTP servlet class. By implementing Jakarta dot servlet interface, by extending Jakarta dot servlet dot generic servlet class, by extending Jakarta dot servlet dot HTTP servlet class. So one way implementing servlet interface, one way extending generic servlet, one way extending HTTP servlet. If we implement servlet interface, how many methods are mandatory to override? 5. If we extend HTTP generic servlet, how many method mandatory? One method. Which method? That is confirmed, fixed. We cannot change that. But here we have a freedom. You can select only do get also, only do post also, only this service also, and do get and do post also. Depends upon our requirement. We have to select. That means first of all, you should know what's the difference between these all. Then you'll understand how to select. Now, if we extend HTTP servlet class, there is no restriction to override this method, that method, like that. We have a freedom to select because non-abstract methods you observe all. There is no abstract keyword you observe. So it is not compulsory to override any method. No method mandatory to override. No method mandatory. But how to select? I'll explain. First of all, right, do get method. It handles get type requests only. Do post method. It handles post type requests only. Service method. It handles both get and post type requests. Do get method handles get type requests only. Do post method handles post type requests only. Service method handles both get and post type requests. But again, there are two service methods. Both service methods can handle both get and post type requests. I'll explain. Do get method handles get type requests only. Do post method handles post type requests only. Service method handles both get and post type requests. Is it over? Now you observe. Say method name do get. It can handle only get type. It handles only post. Method name do post. But service will handle get also, post also. Okay. Here this service also can handle both. This service also can handle both. Now how to select? I'll explain. First of all, it is login.html. Login.html, here username, password. We have two fields in this program. Here method post record or get record. Post record or get record. Post record because data confidential. Password is confidential, no? Post record. Same style here registration.html. Here which type record here? Here also password is there. Post record. That is be selected. Whenever you click on submit button in this program, what is going to be executed? Action. Yesterday explained, no? Now, whenever you click on submit button, the value of action attribute in a form tag executed. This value, what is this REG? REG means what is that? URL pattern of registration servlet. In this program, what is login? URL pattern of login servlet. Whenever you click on submit button, login servlet is going to be executed. Whenever you click on submit button here, registration servlet is going to be executed. Which type of requests are coming to servlet? Post type request coming. Post type request coming. Post type request is coming means, can we write do get method? No. Can we write do post method? Yes. Can we write service method? We can write do post also. We can write service also. Now, if we extend HTTP servlet, no method mandatory to override. There is no mandatory. Okay, not mandatory to override any method. No method mandatory to override. Now you can write this one also. You can write this one also. This one also. This one also. Now, which type of request coming to our servlets? Post. Can we write this one? 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 But how to select? I'll explain. Suppose if you override this method, no use of HTTP servlet, because generic servlet same method is there. So if you override this method, no use of generic HTTP servlet. Extend generic servlet also, extend HTTP servlet also same. If you are overriding this method, that means if you extend HTTP servlet, you should not override this method. By mistake, if you override also, then no use of HTTP servlet. It is generic servlet only. Again, servlet request on response only. Whatever you return with generic servlet, like that only works. No change. Now, you should not override this method. Because post type request coming. This one, how to select, I'll explain. Suppose, actually what is happening, in these four methods, which methods know server, web container? Last service method. This is only lifecycle method. Server knows only this method. Server doesn't know other methods. So what will be happen is, web container calls service method. See, web container calls service method, which takes servlet requests, servlet response. This method is non-abstract method in HTTP servlet. Some code written already. What this will do is, it calls non-life cycle service, HTTP servlet request, HTTP servlet response. This method also non-abstract method. Some code written already. What this method will do is, it checks the request type. Which type of request is coming, it will check. If it is get type request coming, it calls do get. Post type request is coming, it calls do post. Like that mechanism already developed. Now, if the request type is get, then if the request type is get, then it calls do get. If the request type is post, then it calls do post. That means, in this method body, some code written already. What they written, request type, it will check whether get or post. Get is there, it calls do get. Post is there, it calls do post. Like that code already written. Web container calls this one calls this one checks the request types, and request type, get type request came, it will pass the control to do get. It will pass the control to do post. Actually, these methods are not called by web container. Web container knows only this method. This method calls this method calls these two methods. Like that mechanism already written. Write this one. Still not completed. I'll have to explain. Web container calls this service method. This service method calls this service method. This service method checks request type. Which type of request came? If it is get type, it will forward to get. If it is post type, it will forward to do post. Like that code already written. Now I'll ask some questions. Give me answer with code. Is it over? Now, if 5 methods. If you extend generic solid, one method. If you extend HDFS solid, no method. But we have to select according to our requirement. Suppose it is HDFS solid. It is HDFS solid. It is my solid. So our solid. Suppose demo solid. I'll insert. Here already 4 methods are there. Do get is there. Do post is there. Service HTTP solid request. HTTP solid response. Service solid request. Solid response. Now here I'll override do get. Assume. I'll override do get. Assume. Web container creates objects to this class. Our solid only object created, no? This object created. After creating, it calls lifecycle service method because it doesn't know other methods. Now, object created to demo solid. Then it will search for lifecycle service method. Is there in my class? No. Then if not there, where it will search? Super class. In super class is there? Yes. Just now you studied. What this will do? No, just now I given. You see, it calls non-lifecycle service method. This is. So web container calls this one. This one calls this one. Now, suppose this requested type is get type. Then what this will do now? It calls do get. Do get method called. Which do get called? HTTP solid do get or demo solid do get? Think yourself and give answer. Now, get type request came. Get type request came to demo solid class. demo servlet object created. After creating object, it will search for lifecycle service method in demo servlet. Not there. Superclass. It is there. It is called. What this will do? It calls its service method of non-lifecycle service. Now it will check. Requested type is get or post. It will get. It calls do get. Which do get called? HTTP solid or demo solid? Now, how many people answer HTTP solid? Next, how many answer demo solid? So majority wrong. Course Java most important. If overridden, your class called. Not overridden, super class called. If overridden in your class, then your class method called. Not overridden, then only super class called. Here already do get method overridden here. It is called. If not here, then it is called. So this service method called, this service calls this service method because this service not overridden here. Then this service will check requested type get, then do get. Do get also first it will search here. Not there this one. It is overridden. This one called. Core Java most important. If the method is present in subclass, first subclass method called. Not there superclass method called. That is only runtime polymorphism. Always first it will check in subclass. In subclass not there superclass. You have seen already these programs also, you observe. Majority wrong answers, you observe. That's what don't depend on majority people answer. Few people seeing the majority, they'll raise hand. See, class test. Okay, void show. System.out.println. Test. Void show. System.out.println. Demo. Here, what I am doing, see, show method overridden. Extend test. Here demo d equal to new demo. D dot show. What will be the output? What will be the output? Demo. Okay. File save. Java C demo dot Java. Java demo. Demo is the output. Now here I'll change test T. Now give me answer. First, this line is valid or not valid? Valid or not valid? Valid. Subclass object assigned to superclass reference. This concept is called upcasting. Now T dot show. What is the output? Demo or test? Demo. This is only asked. See, now also demo.